Good morning, welcome. We're going to talk conformity and obedience a little bit here on this particular topic. It's pretty cool. We'll break it up. First we'll lay out what is conformity, then we'll kind of break apart the classic studies on conformity and obedience. We're talking Sharif and Ash and Milgram. And then we'll kind of talk about who conforms or which situations will predict conformity. Okay. So we'll start here with the My Lai Massacre. You could substitute Nazi Germany here. So what you found was that there was this terrible massacre where the soldiers shot up a whole village, killed hundreds of people living in the village. And so after this happens, why did it happen? And so this guy's response, and I mean, you can read through this himself, but it's just, why did you do it? Because I was told to do it. I mean, but it was a horrible thing. So, I mean, he just sort of, he's like, well, I mean, I had a job to do, and, my commanding officer said do it, and so, I mean, why not? And it was just so matter of fact how horrible this behavior was, and yet how just matter of fact this guy presented it as. So conformity really is very, very deeply ingrained into human beings. Okay? Conformity is a change in behavior or belief. There's a difference, right? Behavior or belief as a result of real or imagined group pressure. Okay. So in Western cultures, we tend to view conformity as a bad thing, right? I like this sheeple. How do you milk sheep? Release a new iPhone. All right, you know what? That's my cultural hipness for the day. So this meme here is a perfect example of this kind of idea. We just don't respect this idea. But yet in Japanese, here's a proverb. I dare you to try to read it. I can't. And apparently what it translates as is the stake that sticks out gets hammered down. Or as we like to say, perhaps, the nail that sticks up will get pounded back down. And so clearly these two cultures represent radically different views of conformity, different ideas. We find, oh, this kills me every time, that yawns are contagious, right? And it's an amazing thing. You can see it in the classroom when it happens. But this particular researcher, what they did was took the same video. No, it wasn't the same video. But anyway, the same video in the left three conditions and then right. And it created 5-minute videos of yawning. Oh my gosh. Now, I'm particularly susceptible to that one. I mean, just the word itself can trigger it in me. I don't know. But anyway, you see a lot, the way the data is presented was pretty clever. So it was 30 people groups, and so check it out. The number of people that yawned with the regular video was 18, and there was 100 total yawns during a 5-minute video, right? They repeated the video, but they blocked out the mouth, and it was fairly well the exact same response. Then they did just the mouth and not anything else, and all of a sudden you drop down quite a bit. And then if it was just smiling, you still had 8 people yawn. Must have been a boring video, but you don't get. It's like 8 people, 1 yawn apiece, right? So it's really an interesting thing how social, by definition, I mean, social behavior is contagious. So, okay, that's a powerful one. Ooh, I'm going to go back to sleep now. So conformity basically comes in three stages or 3 types or something like that. Compliance is conformity where we follow the norm or something like that. We obey the rule or something. We gain reward, or it's not mine. We gain reward or avoid punishment by, complying. But privately, we don't change what we think, right? So we might behave to follow the rules even if we don't believe it, okay? And so I like this under my face here. Whether or not it's conforming to Okay, am I clapping because I genuinely feel like clapping, or am I clapping just because other people are clapping and I just don't want to look silly? And so, after sitting through untold numbers of graduation ceremonies, I can tell you the clapping at the graduation ceremony. Sometimes I'm doing it. I mean, one of you guys graduates, then the clapping is genuine. But it was somebody over an Ed or something. Oh my goodness, do I have to clap? Okay. And so we see this at church sometimes. All of a sudden one person starts raising their hands to Jesus, and all of a sudden all of the people around him do it. It's like, you weren't doing it 5 minutes ago. What happened? And it's like, boom, 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 boom. So it's contagious, but a lot of times it's just compliance, right? You're just doing it too. Obedience is a direct order, a direct command. And that's clearly what Paul Meatloaf was describing up in the My Lai Massacre part. Okay? Acceptance, however, is conformity that involves both changing your behavior and changing your beliefs. Okay? So compliance, obedience, and acceptance. All right, so that's all we got to say on what is conformity, and now we'll talk in the next section about the big bad experiments in the field.